Hey guys, I'm going to do a quick comparison video here, comparing my GX470, which I've had now for I guess around 4 or 5 months. I put a lot of kilometers, a lot of miles on it. I'm going to compare it to my 5th gen 4Runner TRD off-road, which I had for 3.5 years. Did a ton of kilometers on that as well. I think I put about 115,000 kilometers on it, which is around, I don't know, around 70,000 miles. So stay tuned and we'll get to it here in a second. So this is my truck's natural habitat. This is what I'm in a lot of the time, and it's changing all the time. Big melt going on here. This snow's from last night, but we've had amazing weather for like 3 weeks, and it's continuing on. But again, this is kind of this crap I'm in a lot of the time, and the all-wheel drive system is just it's just a bonus for me. Hey guys, spring has sprung. It's absolutely beautiful here. It's been beautiful for weeks. And I just got a car wash. So this is a con in my opinion. The GX470, I don't like the front end. I mean, it's not bad, but compared to the Gen 5 4Runner, that thing's just mean looking. It's an awesome looking vehicle in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. So the only mods I've done to this, and I'll tell you what I've kind of done to it in general. When I bought this thing, I didn't know when the timing belt needed to be done. I couldn't find any history on it, and it's kind of weird. You can't just phone Lexus and say, hey, here's my VIN number, when was it done, and see if they had any records of it. So that was a bit of a pain. So I did it, and that was about $2,000, and that's just a maintenance thing. You got to do it, I think, every 100,000 miles or so. And it's a good thing I did it because the belt was toast. It was absolutely done. It was getting getting worn through. So that's no good. So I'm glad I did that. Again, that's just maintenance. I did oil changes and so on. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I did the lift, and that's the I-back 2-inch. I got the I took the airbags out, did the airbag delete, and got rid of those guys, and gave it a 2-inch lift, front and back coils, and it's awesome. It rides way better. I think the airbags were toast when I originally got it, and that's kind of a thing that goes wrong with these guys, so most people do get rid of the airbags. Only thing that's gone wrong with this is the AC compressor, and the AC compressor kind of does everything. It's not just for AC. If you turn the heat on, the AC compressor belt's going, it engages. So if there's a problem, and I did have a problem, the bearings were screwy, then it was making noise, and it's an issue. So that cost $1,000. Got a mic on today, so hopefully sound quality is better. So, oh yeah, the other mod I did to this, the only other mod, I put those spot beams driving lights on. This is a 2007 GX470, and this had the 3M package on it from the factory, so there's no real chips, there's no dings, there's no rust on this thing. It's absolutely amazing. And this being a 2007 and my Gen 5 4Runner was a 2018, you'd think the difference would be night and day. This must be kind of a clunkier thing or not drive as well as that newer vehicle. And it's the opposite. This thing drives absolutely amazing. I'm blown away by this still today. And when I first jumped in it and went on my a long tour, the first long tour with this thing, it was absolutely mind-blowing. I cannot get over how this thing drives. Hey guys, this is how you make cowboy coffee. Basically, there's no filter or anything. You just kind of throw the grounds in, and if you put cold water on top, or in this case snow, it makes those grounds go to the bottom. It doesn't. It's not 100%. You'll still chew on a few, but it does work. So I don't know if you can see in there, but a lot of them have gone down. I mean, a lot of them go down anyway, but this does help push them down. It does work. But if you don't want to throw snow in it or cold water, I've just picked up something pretty cool that works great. So this is actually how it goes. You put this through here. This cap comes with it, the lid. And there you go. You got a French press in the woods. So if you don't want to chew on those little bits, I don't mind those little bits, but if you don't want to chew on the chunks, that's what you do. This is definitely a pro to me. This, the way this opens up, this is kind of like the old RAV. Well, it is like the old RAV I had, the second gen RAV. And that was, I guess, the first vehicle I had that had a door like this. And I love this barn door style. The 4Runners obviously have a hatch, and you couldn't load the hatch up with much. Really, you can't put a bunch of jerry cans on there. I mean, you can, but you're not going to be able to lift the hatch up. And if you do, it's just going to want to come back down again. So it's you can't really utilize the inside and outside of a hatch like you can with this barn door. There's all kinds of kits out there that actually make like a table section here that's all MOLLE webbing, metal or aluminum MOLLE webbing, and it folds down. So you get a work table. You can cook on it. You can do whatever you want on it. So definitely usable space because you can hang stuff off it. So to me, that's a huge bonus. This is the tools inside here. If I can do it with one hand. That's the tools that the Lexus comes with for the tire changing and such. So again, you can get stuff for here, or you can get a full-size work table, which is pretty cool. And of course on the back you can hang all kinds of stuff because it opens like this. So there is ladder racks you can get there. I'm going to get one, and you can hang jerry cans off it or roto packs. The guys are hanging spare tires off it. Oh yeah, so another thing about the spare tire deal is a lot of times you'll see a full-size spare in the back of one of these guys. You'll say, why bother? You know, you can limp home maybe with the existing spare tire that does fit under here. Obviously a 33-inch. I don't think it fits under there. What happens is if you blow a tire out in an all-wheel drive system, it's your sensors, your all-wheel drive, traction control, whatever, the sensors are thinking, hey, one of these tires is slipping, or it's going at a different speed, so it screws up the whole traction control deal. So that's why you'll see full-size spares on the back of the GXs. For me, it's not a big issue. Once I do go to a larger tire here, I'm going to take a repair kit with me, and just, you know, if I get a puncture or whatever, I hopefully will be able to fix it on the road. This is Mark Levinson sound system. It's absolutely epic. It's 11 speaker. It's mind-blowing. I've got the tunes cranked in here all the time. It's way better than what was in my 4Runner for sure. Another thing that jumps out at you as soon as you get in here is it definitely rides better than the 4Runner. It does. It handles better. It's nicer to drive. Maybe it's a combo of things. Cabin noise. There's less noise. There's I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff going on. But the V8 in this thing, it's like night and day compared to my 4Runner, the 4-liter. I love the 4-liter, bulletproof engine, amazing, all good. But this thing hauls butt compared. So I'm really pumped about the V8. Towing is up a little bit too, a couple thousand pounds. I believe this is 7,000 pounds. But really noticeable is the power. And when you touch the gas, it's gone. It's not, there's no, you don't have to lean on it or anything else. Another cool thing that I notice as well, when I stick this on cruise control, you know, in the 4Runner, you're kind of hauling up, going up hills, you know, long grades or whatever, and it starts, you know, it's got to drop a gear or two, so it's just roaring up those hills. This, it's got enough torque, it doesn't really do that. It just kind of floats up the hill. Again, not a huge deal, but definitely something you notice right away with this. Again, this is stock tires on it. I'm going to stick some bigger tires on it, and I'm not really worried about the power. You know, when you stick a bigger tire on a truck, you kind of lose a little bit of power. It's more sluggish. I'm not really concerned about it with this that much. I'm not going to go crazy with the wheels, maybe 32s. So those things are pros for sure. Again, this 4Runner kills it styling-wise. I think the front end of the 4Runner just rocks. But this guy looks good. There's really nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Another thing I like about this, I don't know if you can see this here, it's got 3 supports for the roof rack. So I'm thinking of maybe putting in some 80-20 rails up here so I can, you know, load up the roof with stuff. I don't think I'm going to get rid of these factory rails. I don't think I want to spend $1,400 on a roof rack for this when this one should be able to do what I want it to do. A con, I guess, for sure, is this doesn't have a rear locking differential like my TRD off-road did. So that's definitely, this guy's missing that. Now you can pop these in. Somebody left a couple comments in one of the videos I did, and they said you can put an FJ Cruiser rear end in the back of this. There's a couple things you can do, or air lockers all around. So it's missing a rear locking diff. So that is definitely something for sure. That's a con on this. It does have A-track. And it works just like the 4Runner. It doesn't have crawl control. Now, crawl control, it has saved me once on my 4Runner. I landed in a ditch hard, and I was buried, and it did actually get me out. It was amazing. It's an awesome thing. It's not, you can't really use it in all the situations, so it is definitely a con for this guy. It's not the end of the world for me. A rear locker would be awesome. What is cool about this, though, what really stands out for me is the all-wheel drive system. This guy's always working for you. The all-wheel drive system on this thing, I've been through some real nasty stuff, ripping through the mountains, heading to the coast, and full-on blizzards, and I didn't put it in four-wheel drive. I just left it alone, and it just walked through the nastiest road conditions you can imagine. A lot of people maybe live in the southern states or wherever. They're only throwing it in four-wheel drive in the 4Runner when they're going to go four-wheeling. In my case, you know, you're driving along and you hit black ice. You're already in it, so you're in it like that. Having that system always on and working for you, it's awesome. I've had a few vehicles like that. It has Subaru Forester, amazing in the snow. That RAV4 second gen, amazing in the snow. All-wheel drive system rocks in this part of the world. For me, it is a bit of a game changer because it's so awesome. Again, it's always working for you. Of course, I can just hit the button and throw this into four-wheel drive. Another cool thing about this is because it's all-wheel drive, you can have a high and low range just in all-wheel regular driving. So let's say you were doing whatever in all-wheel drive, you can use that lower range ratio that, of course, is available in four-wheel as well. So you can go to four-wheel high, four-wheel low, or you can go all-wheel drive high, all-wheel low. So that's kind of a cool deal. My old Latiniva had that, and that was awesome. Fuel mileage. Now, this being a V8, it does drink a little bit more fuel, but you know what? Not a lot, man. Like, I was surprised. It's not enough to counter the awesomeness of the V8. It's a hair more than the 4Runner, but it depends what I'm doing. If I'm cruising on the highway, I think this might get better mileage. The V8 is like night and day compared to the 4-liter V6 of my 4Runner. So somebody mentioned that they're not as comfortable as the 4Runner. For me, this is just my opinion, this is more comfortable. I've done the same trips, 15-hour road trip, one shot in one day, out to the island, through the Rocky Mountains, and I know how my butt feels or my back or whatever at the end of the trip, and this one is more comfortable. After about 6 hours, my butt or different parts of my body would be aching in the 4Runner. This thing is just more comfortable to me. So I don't know. To you, it may differ. I'm 6'1". Maybe if you're 5'10" or if you're 6'4", this will be uncomfortable. I'm not sure. But for me, this is a more comfortable vehicle. So I'm going to put a link in the description below to my 4Runner review that I did not long ago. The 4Runner is awesome. It's the resale on those things is crazy. It's absolutely going up in price. My buddy bought a 2021 TRD off-road. And I think you can get about 10 grand more than he paid for it at the dealer right now with mileage on it. So they're crazy vehicles, awesome, rugged, going to last a lifetime. They are amazing. I've got nothing bad to say about them. And this is just another example of Toyota awesomeness. So the reason I did this, and I explained that in one of my videos, is I got pretty much what I paid for my 4Runner. They gave me cash. I was paying $1,000 a month for that through Toyota Credit, and I had it for 3.5 years, so I owed another 1.5 years on it. I think I was paying $1,000 and change a month, so I think I owed 20 grand. So basically, I was given this GX, and they paid out the 20 grand that I owed for the 4Runner. So I pretty much broke even, which is amazing. You can't do that with other vehicles. Am I regretting it? No, not at all. This is from 2007. This has 320,000 kilometers on it. And it's a lot older than the 4Runner. And yet it still, in my opinion, is a nicer vehicle to drive. It's got more power. There's all kinds of great things to say about it, even though there's that huge gap between the 4Runner, the 2018 that I had, Gen 5, to this 2007 GX470. So this is kind of a thing, these bumpers. I didn't know that. And you know, I've been looking now. A guy mentioned it in the comments. Wow, that's a funky, this kind of a, it's kind of obviously a useless, it's just for aesthetics, brush guard that's factory. This thing is a thing to some people. Like, they want it, man. And this whole bumper is coming off, of course, and I'm going to get a brush guard and a winch on here. But you don't see too many of these with this on it. So I don't know if that's the package. I'll have to look. Ultra extreme off-road package or something. But yeah, again, this weird front end bumper is a bit of a thing. So this is a cool feature, I think. You know what? When I got this thing, this is weird. I don't know if you guys know about it, even guys with GX470s. I didn't know about it. I didn't look at the manual, of course. This is your mirror adjustment, left and right. Right now it's in the center. If it's in the center, the mirrors just stay stationary. If you take it here or there, they actually tilt down when you put the car in reverse. It did it one time and I went, what the heck's going on? And then it didn't do it again because I had put it here and I thought it was maybe broken. I had no idea how it works. So if you put it off here or here, the mirrors tilt down as you're in reverse. Another con for me is the blingy interior. Some friends of mine love it. I'm not a big fan of the plastic wood. It's a little bit too blingy for me. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. I think both vehicles are great. You can't go wrong. They're gonna last forever. Everybody knows that buys one, and that's probably why they buy one. There's no maintenance involved, really. They just kind of go and go and go. I've had a ton of vehicles, like tons, and these things just keep going. The Toyota stuff is just amazing. So something popped in my mind when I was talking about that hatch on the 4Runner, that I like the door better. I still do like the door better because I think you can do more to it or hang stuff off it. But the hatch has saved me a few times on the 4Runner. Like a lot of times when it's pouring rain, you can get under that hatch and still kind of mess around with gear in the back without getting soaked. So that it's, you know what, it's there's pros and cons to everything, I guess. And that was definitely a bonus, using the hatch in the rain. On the GX470, when it's in all-wheel drive, there's VCS, vehicle stability control, is on. All these components are, you know, checking wheel speed, and if something's slipping, it'll stop giving you power to that wheel or whatever. A lot of stuff going on. So if you want to power through a corner or rip through the snow and get that thing sideways, it's not going to let you. All that automatic stuff turns on, and it's going to keep you safe, which is it's kind of a pain, but you can turn it off. You just hit the 4-wheel drive button, lock this thing up into 4-wheel, and all that stuff is gone. You can just go bananas like you would in any other 4x4 once the front and rear are locked up. Thanks for watching. Before I go, I'm going to introduce another channel. It's a friend of mine. He and his wife have an awesome little ranch, and he's an avid hunter. He's right into, he's right into all kinds of stuff. But this channel is going to be based around upland game, bird hunting, waterfowl, training your dog, how-to tips and tricks. Again, awesome guy. I've done a ton of hunting, shooting with him, and I suggest you check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below.